Hello everybody. I have mentioned before in some of my videos about Shinrin Yoku, and so I wanted to explain that a little more. I've also mentioned the research about how trees communicate and talk to each other, and also that they release pheromones. But I wanted to show you the research on it so that it's not just a hearsay type of thing. So this article is from Time Magazine. Forest bathing is great for your health. Here's how to do it. And this was published May 1st, 2018. A lot of this research is pretty new. Okay. So they're talking about how when you go into the forest, they ease our stress and worry, help us to relax and think more clearly. So they started looking more into it. Here it says that in Japan, we practice something called forest bathing, or Shinrin Yoku. Shinrin in Japanese means forest, and Yoku means bath. So Shinrin Yoku means bathing in the forest atmosphere, or taking in the forest through our senses. It is not an exercise like hiking or jogging, but just simply taking in what the forest brings us. I thought this was very interesting. It says, according to a study sponsored by the Environmental Protection Agency, the average American spends 93% of his or her time indoors. So when we do that, it cuts us off from the natural healing that's available to all of us. And here they talk about phytoncides, which is the natural aromatherapy of the forest. So I thought that was very interesting. And I just wanted to show you a little more about where that comes from. It's been going on in Japan for a very long time. They just now, because we have the technology to really look into some of this. This newest research is about in the last 10 years. So this article is from EcoWatch. Discover how trees secretly talk to each other using the Wood Wide Web. So that's kind of a catchy little title. But this really talks about, goes into the exactly what happens in the forest. So all of these tiny little roots are like neurons that signal to each other. So the communication doesn't really take place above, but below. And they have a symbiotic association with below ground fungi. These are fungi that are beneficial to the plants and explore the soil. The fungi send mycelium, a mass of thin threads, through the soil. The mycelium picks up nutrients and waters and brings them back to the plants and exchanges the nutrients and water for a sugar or other substance made by photosynthesis. I found that really, really interesting. I didn't know that they produced sugar. And some of these plants send those nutrients to a plant or another tree that is struggling. So you can see the connections here between the trees and the plants. And there's always one or two that are kind of like the matriarchs. So they're saying that this one here is the most highly connected and sends out the most messages. So not only did they communicate, there is a hierarchy of one or two that takes on the most work. So that was very, very interesting. And the internet is working so slow today. Sorry about that. It's just so interesting how much we don't know about things. Okay, this is from the Smithsonian magazine. Do trees talk to each other? And this article was very interesting. This man from Germany has been doing research all his life, really. And he kept telling people that, that trees and the forest communicated, but they did not believe him until the research came out. And now he has a book, The Hidden Life of Trees, What They Feel, How They Communicate, and The Inner Life of Animals also. But it says here that a revolution has been taking place in the scientific understanding of trees. And Wolleben is the first writer to convey its amazements to a general audience. So they found that there is lots of communication, not just a little bit. And that kind of goes over the same thing they were saying. But they were saying that this is the paper where they researched how the trees send out this sugar substance to other ones that are struggling. And then this is the article that says that trees also communicate through the air using pheromones and other scent signals. Wolben's favorite example occurs on the hot, dusty savannas of sub-Saharan Africa, where the wide-crowned umbrella thorn acacia is the emblematic tree. When a giraffe starts chewing the acacia leaves, the tree notices the injuries and emits a distress signal in the form of ethylene gas. Upon detecting this gas, neighboring acacias start pumping tannins into their leaves. In large enough quantities, these compounds can sicken or even kill large herbivores. So they're able to send messages out to each other, the trees, and warn them. I think one of the most fascinating aspects of all of this is that we still only know a tiny bit, and what more can we find out? I just think it's so interesting. So I was researching new quotes for our readings. I like to come up, freshen them up sometimes. And I found some really, really interesting ones. Several of them are from a man called John Muir. And if you've never heard of him, he was an ecologist, one of the very first, back in the 1800s, who made sure that a lot of our wildlands were preserved. One of his quotes is, "Between every two pines is a doorway to a new world." I liked that. Let's see, I've got, here's another one. "Climb the mountains and get their good tidings. Allow nature's peace to flow into you as sunshine flows into trees. The winds will blow their own freshness into you, and the storms their energy, while cares will drop away from you like the leaves of autumn." And that was this man right here, John Muir. He was originally from Scotland, but he loved nature, and he was known as a mountain man, known as John of the Mountains, and the father of the national parks. He was an early advocate for the preservation of wilderness in the United States. So I thought that was pretty cool. He was very, very connected and made sure that these places were saved for us. So I've got a couple more quotes I just love. "The mountains are my bones, the river my veins, the forests are my thoughts, and the stars are my dreams. The ocean is my heart, its pounding is my pulse. The songs of the earth write the music of my soul." Love that. This quote is from Henry David Thoreau. "I walk in the woods and come out taller than the trees." To walk in nature is to witness 1,000 miracles. This one is from Khalil Gibran. "Trees are poems the earth writes across the sky. Humanity cuts them down for paper so that we may record our emptiness." This one is from Saint Bernard. "You will find something more in the woods than in the books. Trees and stones will teach you that which you can never learn from masters." There are more life forms in a handful of forest soil than there are people on the planet. Deep in the forest I stroll to hear the wisdom of my soul. And the last one is from Mahatma Gandhi. What we are doing to the forests of the world is but a mirror reflection of what we are doing to ourselves and to one another. So I hope that gives you a deeper appreciation for the forest, for the standing people. I hope that you find time to go out in the forest and be with the standing people, to soak in all that wonderful healing. Peace, love, and light. Until next time.